All right, guys, we're back for part 2. Get ready. There's a lot in this, a lot to unpack in this episode. Did I even land the fish? All right, guys, I always try to show y'all everything. It's very hard, though, to show y'all everything in a tournament. When a tournament's 8 hours, and you try to condense that into 20 minutes. And a lot of times you can condense that 20 minutes into just fish catches. Well, this is not that episode, right? There's a lot that goes on. Now, I've got 3 fish, and I'm not gonna lie. I've got 3 pretty good ones, 2 really good ones. This fish, I'd always planned on catching this fish, and the camera didn't show it, but I saw this fish. Like, I saw this fish get up underneath my popping perch. Not before I threw it. I didn't even know it was following it. But then I saw it swirl on it, and then, man, I was watching it follow it for like 2 or 3 seconds before it bit. It felt like 2 or 3 minutes. It was awesome. And smoked it, like, got it in, and I was like, all right, well, good, now I don't have to flip for her. And I was going, okay, we got 3 down. It's early. However, I don't really have that feeling that big group that I saw is on that stretch anymore. I don't know where they went. I don't know if they're there. Maybe they'll be there later on in the day. I'm not sure. So I think I would have caught more there because I did get bit there this morning. Even though I only had one where I saw them, I just felt like if there were more, I felt like they were gonna bite if they were there. I think they would have bit yesterday. I just didn't really fish for them. I just saw them swimming. Now I go into what I usually do is like, all right, I just gotta piece together some fish somehow. I've got some other fish found in the sense of they're not, maybe they're on beds, maybe they're not. It was hard to see. There's people around, and I'm not going to them yet. I'm taking a chance. I take chances a lot in these tournaments. I'm gonna go to them when the sun gets up, when I can really see. They're deep, they're hard to see, they're gonna be probably hard to catch. So I'm just gonna go fishing. Now I stayed around this area. I was like, well, you know, if I caught one frogging like this, even though I knew she was there, she still bit. So I'm like, maybe there's some that I didn't see that will do the same thing. I frogged around that area for another 45 minutes. Nothing. I said, all right, let's go do some other things. So I went and did some other things. I went down the bank. Throwing a frog. There's grass out there. There's milfoil. So I'd get done going down the bank, I'd throw in the milfoil. I would do a lot of these. I would go down the bank looking for fish, but I know there's not a lot of them. So there's not a lot of fish on beds. I'm doing that. I'm looking for them. I'm frogging for them at the same time. If they're not there, they should only be a cast away out in maybe this milfoil. So I'm doing that as well. I'm throwing a hybrid hunter. I'm doing anything I possibly can. Like, you will see me switch sometimes from throwing on the bank and instantly start casting out to the middle. They've got to be somewhere here, even though it hasn't been that good in practice. I know this, but I've got 3. I think I can catch one more somehow, maybe off of a bed. Maybe. I know I need another one. Or maybe, if nothing else, I'll figure it out. Remember, I only had one day to practice. I'm by myself. So I've got to figure out how to catch another one. I even live scope a little bit. I don't really want to go live scoping, but I do live scope a little bit just to see. Obviously, that's not working out. Catching catfish. You know, I just don't even see any out there. And it might be where I'm at. I don't know, but I'm not going to run all across this lake just yet. Yesterday in practice, I had a bite or two. And I did have one big one at the end of the day. But man, I had to do it for like 2 hours to catch one. And so I'm going, that's last resort. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to keep frogging because I know that catches them. I'm going to keep looking because all I need to do is come across one. And I'm going to keep going. I show you all this on purpose. Y'all have to realize how many hours I did this and how much effort I put into it, right? That it was hard to get a bite. You'll understand later why I make decisions I do, but you have to see this. You have to see the struggle. You have to see that I tried all these things. I can't tell you how many times I've made videos and guys are like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Well, I did. It just didn't work, right? And you could tell in the first hour to hour and a half where I knew fish were, and I knew I was going to catch them, and I caught them. It should work everywhere else, but it's not. And I knew this. It was a very weird tournament. They were grouped up, and you go all day long, and to find one group, you're lucky. And I found that group, and it didn't seem like that group was together anymore. Like I said, I'm showing you everything. I just want to show you how many times it might look like I'm changing every 5 minutes. No, I'm sticking with stuff 20, 30, 45 minutes and then changing 25, 30, 40 minutes and changing. So I'm giving its due diligence. I just want to let you know, yes, it is very hard to get a bite. I come in this other area. As soon as I come in here, and I had a feeling this was going to happen, and I'm okay with this. I come in this area, and I'd seen some fish on the bank, kind of in bushes, kind of in these certain things. And I'm like, I figured some other people saw them, and I'm okay with that. Right? I started on what I wanted to start on, but it's up into the day, like 11 o'clock. There's 2 boats in front of me. There's one, I saw some fish where the boat in the back is, for sure swimming around. And I definitely saw one on a bed over here on the left, where this other guy's fishing. So I'm just gonna sit out here in the middle. It's all right. I'm gonna fish, let these guys do their thing. I'm not gonna encroach on them. I'm just gonna wait around. That means an hour, then I'm gonna wait for an hour. I'm gonna wait till they either catch fish, get out of the way, whatever they wanna do. So I just fish around. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's not a big deal. It's not like I can't catch fish out here. I'm good. I'm in a place that has fish. I'm gonna do this and see and like give them their time and space. Well, the guy on the left, he catches a 3-something. I saw it was like a 3 1/4. I remember seeing it the day before. He catches it, and I knew there really wasn't too many more fish where he was at. Maybe I saw one more, like a 4-pounder, but I just saw her swimming. And then the guys in the back, I saw some fish back there swimming around. But like I said, I'm just gonna wait. The guy on the left eventually leaves. So now there's just one boat in front of me. So I kind of look around just to make sure no more fish have moved up and things like that. The guys in the back were definitely set up on a fish. It was right where I saw some fish swimming around. They really weren't on beds, but I'm like, maybe they are now. I don't know. And so I waited and waited and waited, and eventually they got tired and moved on. So as they started moving down the bank, And then I think they either set up on another fish or did something else. I started going down that bank as well. So that's where we're at now. And I'm like, okay, those guys eventually, by the time I even got up there to where they were at, because it took me a little while. I went real slow from where I'm at, which is probably another, 100 yards away from them. I went real slow down that bank, really just picking it apart, trying to see anything I possibly could. I went through there super fast the day before in practice. I didn't do this. So I really started looking at every little crevice, in the bush, outside, everything. So I get up in there, no one's there. I get to the back. When I do, I see a small fish. And then I think I see a big fish, but I definitely see a big fish in front of me. And she's kind of roaming around. So this fish I see roaming around is like a 6-pounder. And I'm checking her out going, okay, where's she going? Where did she come from? What is she doing? As I look back at the small fish, I realize, okay, there's a big one hanging out on the outside of these bushes by her or by him. I'm like, all right, well, that's a pretty big one. It might be bigger than the 6-pounder. And so I'm going to fish for it. I got nowhere to go. I got nothing to do. It's calling back here. I'm by myself now. There's no one back here. And I'm just going to sit up on this fish and do my thing sight fishing. Got that thing in the mouth. So I catch this fish. It's like a 7 something. It's a 7.5 pounder. She came out of there. I knew it was going to be sketchy because where she bit on the right hand side of the bush. I never caught her on the bed. I had to do a bunch of things. If you saw me kind of flip to different spots, I'm flipping to the male and the female's over here, and I'm just kind of doing my thing. It's kind of hard to tell because you can't really see in the water, but it takes me about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and I catch her. I'm thinking to myself, I got 4 big ones now, like 3 really big ones and 1 good one. I'm fine with the 3-pounder I got, the 3 1/4, 3.5. But here's my dilemma. Now I remember this 6-pounder. This 6-pounder I saw another time. I don't know what she's doing. I only saw her once in 20 minutes. She'll swim to the back of my boat. I don't know where she goes after that. So I'm going to kind of wait around to see what happens. But I'm also like, man, I'm at the point to where I fished a lot today. A lot. And I haven't got a bite other than this fish on the bed. There's a small one in this bush still. Now this small one bit like 4 or 5 times. It's a keeper. But a lot of times when you get those really small ones to bite, after a while they don't want to bite anymore. And she probably bit, or he probably bit more because the big one was around. So now I'm going, okay, let me just at least sit around on this one and catch it, or try to. The problem is the big one I caught on the other side of the bush. Like, it wasn't in the bush. This thing's in the bush, and I've shaken it off a couple times, and it is not exactly ideal. It's not, but I'm gonna fish for it. So it bites a couple times. It nips at it. It's in the bush, and I'm like, man, I gotta swing on this fish. But it's one of those ones where it's like, it's a 14 and a half, 15 incher, and it's nipping at it. Before, I had to like push the button and she would swim off through the bushes. But like I said, when you do that a couple times, sometimes they don't like to do that over and over again. So now he's being kind of a punk. He's being a real big punk. But man, I know at this stage of the game that a 14 and a half, 15 incher is at least 1 3/4 to 2 pounds. That's a giant. Like, if I had a 4-pounder and that was my smallest fish, and I had to go cull, to gain 2 extra pounds, I have to catch a 6-pounder, right? So a 2-pounder is essentially a 2-pound cull at this point in time. So it's an important fish. 2 pounds is hard to get when you get up over 20 pounds. So, and I've got over 20 pounds with 4. So, I'm gonna keep fishing for this fish. I mean, it makes me so mad. I start getting hot. It's getting hot. Like, here's the other thing. He gets further and further back in the bush. Probably because that female's not there. So, like, he's getting harder to see. I don't see the bottom here, guys. I don't know if y'all realize this. I can't see the bottom. So, like, if he sinks down in the bush, I can't see him. So he's sinking down further in the bush. I can't see him. He's getting further back in the bush. And I'm like, great. So I move around a little bit here and there, trying to get a better angle, trying to spook him out. Like, he's now just like, they become very stagnant, where they just kind of like will sit there and you can throw on them and they don't bite. And that's what's happening. And yet, like I said, the bush is in the way. I can't see. So eventually I get it to bite. But like I said, it's in the bush, and it's small. Sometimes the bigger ones are easier than the small ones because when you hit them, they're big and they tear off out of there. And sometimes they come away from the bush, or they move your line away from the bush. And like I said, I mean, we've just seen sometimes where big ones will fight themselves out of a bush, where a small one just gets hung up. It gets hung up instantly. Like when I stuck her, I was throwing in the bush, and when I stuck her, I brought her, my hook set brought her up to the top, and my hook, her, and everything stuck on the bush. And I could see her for like 2 seconds. That's why I was really holding on to her, because she's just stuck there, like not fighting, just sitting there, hung, and she like barely shakes her head a little bit, because the hook's hung up, the hook's out of her mouth, in the mouth, out of the mouth, on the stump, and then you can see her like shake her head and swim off. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely not catching them now. And I was like, great. The smallest one, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it was the smallest one, but man, it was the 5th one. So I move on. There was another guy over here. I'll just show you this interaction because I like these interactions. Guy was asking me if I was in the tournament. It was just being cool. Yeah, I was fishing I caught the big one out. I need like a 14 incher.
You got 2 seconds to shake hands?
Huh? Do what?
You got 2 seconds to shake hands?
Yeah, I caught like a 6-pounder over there. I got like 2 5s and a 6 and a 3.
I'm Brian, man.
Todd.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you, man. Yeah, I just got a 2-pounder right there, but like,
yeah,
she got all messed up when I caught the big one.
Yeah.
So he was just talking to me about fishing and stuff, and knew me and shook his hand and everything. So I went back. There was a 4-pounder over there that was kind of roaming around. It wasn't on a bed, and I saw her like 2 or 3 times and never saw her again. And it's getting kind of late, and the decisions you have to make. Like, what do you do? Do you stick around here where you feel like you've looked for everything? Because I went looking around there as well. I went looking all around there. Flipped all the bushes slow. I mean, I did a lot of stuff, nothing. And I'm like, well, let me go back to this other place, or let me just go to another creek. I'll put my head down for another hour and totally look in another creek and see if I can find some, and that's what I did. Went in that creek, didn't find anything. Like I said, man, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not disappointed. I've got 4 really good ones, and I've got a chance at making a top 10. I think I'll make a top 10 with this weight because I think it was tough. And you know, there's a chance at a small chance at a Skeeter bonus, 5 or 10,000. So we'll see. So yeah, here it is. Here's the ending. I got the Skeeter bonus, the $10,000. I came in 4th. I came in 5th with 4.
Twice.
The weights, second place, 22 pounds. All of us will agree that's not that great. The 27 pounds, I needed a lot more to win the event. I will say, I think I catch that one fish, I easily come in 2nd. Just a 15-incher, I think I come in 2nd. But I'm not upset about that. Like I came down here by myself, fish tournament. Gotta be honest with you guys, 14.5. That's not split either. That's 14.5 all to me. So that's a giant payday. That's a giant payday. I finished 2nd in a Toyota before a couple of times. The last 2nd I got at Darnell, I won 14,000 with like $1,800 entry fee. 3 days of fishing and practice. I spent 1 day of practice, 1 day in the tournament. $400 entry fee, won 14.5. So here's the end of that event right here. And kind of watch this. It was a video of last year of when I did it. This is just kind of like what I thought about the entire event. Listen up, get ready, because we're going to show you the sequel. I didn't even know there was a sequel. But this year, same time, same place. We're heading back there. But I got my fishing partner this time. Let's see what goes down.
I've been sitting here for so long, my boat didn't even start. I have this thing. It was my fault. I ran everything today. I caught a fish within the first 5 minutes. So from 6:25 this morning, I've been on fill, recirculate. I never took them off. I ran all my graphs all day long, never turned them off. And then I sat right there. We're going on 3 or 4, 3, I don't know, wow. Now 2.5 hours. And I just forgot to turn everything off. I really didn't run today, very little. I kind of stayed put just because I had a big bag. But I ended up winning 4,000 for 5th, 10,000 for Skeeter, all my Garmin stuff, 200 for, it was 2 other checks, 200 and 300 for my Garmin stuff. So I ended up winning like 14.5. Not bad for a $400 entry fee. That's what I talk about all the time on my channel. Maybe it happens once a year, whatever. You know, it's hard to make a $14,000 check in some of those pro-ams, you know, the invitationals or any of that stuff, but you're also putting up $5 grand. So I mean, $400 to win 14.5, and I came in 5th. It's not bad. And you're like, well, it's Skeeter money. That's the deal. You got to pay attention to all that, those incentives. And Skeeter has a great incentive on this deal, so take advantage of it. You know, there's other boat companies out there too that, you know, have incentives. Check them out. But for Skeeter has a bunch. Now, if I'd have won it, I told y'all it was 40-something thousand. Russell couldn't fish with me today. He was fishing the championship on Conroe. Everything worked out except that one little one. But all in all, a really good day. All right, everything's working. I got to get going. It's getting late.